Okay, so I'm making a polymer cake necklace earring combo, and for this you'll need some white clay, tan clay, and blue clay. And I pre-mixed all of these. They didn't come packaged like this, well, except for the white. The white obviously came like this. But you can ask me and I'll tell you like what colors I used to get these. And then you also need, see if I can, a little piece of green clay and a very little piece of purple clay. Then you also need 3 eye pins, a blade. This will be impossible without a blade, and optionally you can use an X-Acto knife. I like using it just because it makes it so much easier. Okay, now take the tan clay and your blade and then just cut it in half. Now I didn't get it exactly half, so I'm just gonna cut a small piece off to even it out. And then you want to just mush it into a little ball. Hope that doesn't look right. And then put them into balls. Now, as you can see, this one's a bit bigger than that. So just you have to make sure that they're the same size, otherwise the cake will turn out weird. So just keep mushing and mushing, then adding occasionally until you get the right size. Okay, so now that I've got these the right size, I want to make sure these are the same size. So this is too big, so I'm just going to take a small bit of it off, then roll this around into a ball. So now that we've got that, you can kind of see where I'm going here, right? So then you'll take each piece of the clay and turn it into a small, very flattened cylinder, like this. Like a very thick coin is one way you can put it. Another one. Also, you want to make sure they're all relatively the same size. Just makes it easier. You just place them on top of each other. Now you should get what kind of looks like a chocolate chip ice cream sandwich, or an inside out Oreo, whichever you prefer. Then just sort of bond it together by squishing it down. Then repeat the process and just make it into a disc. But this time you want to make it into a slightly taller cylinder. Now when it's shaped just like this, just place that down somewhere. And then get your blue clay. Now of course you can use any color you want for this, but I'm using a nice faded pastel blue, and then you just sort of pinch it out. If you want, you can use a roller to maybe flatten it a bit more, but I like pinching it. It's about this big. Just put it on your workspace and put the cake in the middle of it. So this blue will act as a fondant, just to make life so much easier, and just sort of bring it up the edges so that you cover the cake. Kind of like a skirt, really. And bring it up into the middle like this. Just keep pinching, 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 and then twist it off. And then flatten. And I didn't do that perfectly executed, otherwise it would be completely covered. So I'm just going to take this piece of blue right here and fill it in. And I can't see it, but it looks really rough. So I'm just going to go into I'm just going to cut this part out right here where I just smooth it out and make it look nice. So after you've made it look nice, just start doing the same exact thing you did when you smush them together and make it into the shape of a cake. And then this is where your 2 other colors come. One of them has to be green, otherwise it won't make sense. But Right here, this is just a nice pastel green, and cut it in half. Now it seems weird, it's so small. This is just going to be a little bit of decor for the top of the cake, so it doesn't look weird. So take it, and then this is the only really tricky part. Take it and then pinch it so that takes the shape of a leaf. Instead, then take your X-Acto knife or your blade, whichever one works best for you, and make a line down the middle like this, and then lines on the side so that you get a little leaf. Then when you do that, it looks like this. Take it off of your finger. It'll be kind of sticky because you've been working with it. Yep. And just stick it onto the cake. That's not exactly in the middle, so I'm just going to fix that. There we go. So it's sort of to the side of the middle. You don't want it exactly in the middle, otherwise this won't work. And just repeat with the other. One. Now with the purple, just place your cake to the side and roll it out. Well, that's about, it's too thin, so just roll it out to there, then flatten it so that you have this, and then just roll it up, and hopefully, well, that one didn't turn out that well. You'll get a nice little rose. But as I said, that one didn't turn out well. So if you don't like it, just do it again. So I've got a rose there. You can't really see it because my camera really sucks, but so I've got a little rose. Put it on top of the cake between the two leaves like this, and then use a pencil or your knife or anything you have to just jam it down like this, because you don't want it coming off when you bake it. So after you do that, just press it down a bit more. You don't want it to be too tall. Take your knife and, making sure you're using the sharp side, make some indications of where you're going to cut, and you're going to cut 2 slices out of it, otherwise the whole plan won't work. So if you can see, I've made 3 little indications, and then I'm just going to cut. That's 1, that's 2, and then there's 3. Now, that one cut a bit deep, but you can see the layers. If it looks a bit weird, use use your blade and just smooth it out like this. And then if this kind of stretched, just use the blade and cut that part off. Now you've got 2 small perfect fitting slices of cake. This is where the eye pins come in. That's where the eye pins come in. Okay, you'll need a pair of wire cutters, just like these, and take them all like this, make sure they're all even, then go up and get ready to cut. Just measure it on the cake, because you don't want it to be too long. So I measure about right here, and then just cut it. So we have 3 even eye pins. Should have gotten the smaller ones. I got really big ones when I was at Michael's. Now just take your slice of cake and an eye pin and just stick it in. Like this. And then repeat that with the other slice of cake. That with the other slice of cake, and then this one, just do it right down the middle, just like this. Alright, and now you've got your cakes, and I think this one turned out rather well, but we're not just done yet. We still have to add texture. So I'll be right back. And get a small little pin like this with the little bauble on top, and take this with the cake and just start scraping it like this, just to get a nice, you can't see it, but it makes a nice crumbly texture. Okay, so after you're done, it should just look like this. And then you're done. You can just go ahead and bake them. And some people would probably just be asking right now, like, oh, how long do you bake it? What temperature? Well, if you actually had the polymer clay, you'd know. And if you're asking, then you don't have the clay, so why are you asking? But just, if you really, really want to know, it's 15 minutes for every 1/4 an inch. So I just like to bake this for 30 minutes, and it turns out great at 275 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's it. Bye.